Strange encounters, mysterious apparitions, the unknown. These have intrigued the human race as far back as anyone can remember. It exists in almost every nation, culture, and certainly cannot be separated from Asian flame force. Do you believe in the paranormal? I believe. Welcome to my podcast. Ghost Bro. Adam's house was built in 1904. It is a single family home, wood frame setting on a concrete block foundation. He had been living there for about 12 years. Of all the weird things that he and his siblings have seen or heard in the house, there was one Adam could not forget. This happened to Adam's brother Johnson. About 10 years ago, Johnson and his best friends had started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock or alternative music, but in Spanish. His friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice into the early evening, and they would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This was the time Adam usually showed up and went to bed because he worked the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. Johnson's band had just finished a long session when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. Johnson handed his car keys to his buddy so they could load up the equipment. Everyone had filed out of the basement, but the tricky part was that they needed to walk all the way to the back of the basement, up the back stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall into the living room, and out into the front porch. Everyone was outside, sitting in Johnson's truck, waiting for him. Johnson was walking up the back stairs when he remembered that he had left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made the decision to go back. Now, the basement was not clean, with full sidelines. There had been partitions made, and the boiler and main heating unit are right smack in the middle. So after Johnson walked back, he was about to retrieve his food container when out of the corner of his eye, he saw it. It was a shadowy figure right in his peripheral vision. This feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over Johnson. His family had been taught that if they were in the presence of a spirit or ghost, and that they felt a bad vibe, they were to say a quick prayer or to curse at it. Johnson chose the latter. He basically just told it to get lost. I don't have time for this nonsense. Johnson started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing doors and turning off lights as he was walking out. The last light switch is on the opposite side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open and the light from the street lamp was flooding the living room with its amber light. Johnson felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flicked the last switch, the living room went dark, as did the rest of the house. As he stepped out, he pulled on the door, closing in behind him. Still holding his food container in one hand, he jogged down the few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate. The house resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard but no rear garage. As he closed the gap between himself and his friend-laden truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over in his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on his seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the garage spot directly in front of the house, when one of his friends asked, "Hey, wait, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" Johnson answered, "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He's already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked, "So that who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?" What do you think? Who or what was behind Johnson?